Well everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone X and see how this particular iPhone holds up in the middle part of 2024. Now I will definitely tell you in a lot of different ways, these particular phones probably, aren't worth buying per se anymore, and there's probably way better devices that I would recommend the average person to go ahead and buy rather than this thing. So keep that in mind. If I were you, I would probably go ahead and, I would recommend purchasing an iPhone, like an iPhone X or above. I wouldn't really go ahead and buy something like an iPhone X in this day and age anymore. But with that being said, we did also just get iOS 18 recently, and I really do feel like the iPhone X could have probably supported this version of software as well, which is kind of funny. So in this day and age, those are kind of my opinions on the iPhone X right now. The exterior still holds up very, very well. I really do feel like an iPhone like the iPhone X holds up very well from the exterior side, which is actually pretty crazy, because this is not the latest and greatest iPhone anymore. This is an iPhone that's been out for quite some time. It came out in 2017 and it's basically 7 years old now, which is actually pretty crazy. And when you're getting a 7-year-old iPhone, you're getting a device that really isn't going to be holding up. You would think it wouldn't hold up that well, but it does, which is so crazy. You're getting a 5.8-inch, Super Retina OLED display. You're getting a, good amount of, not the most amount of bezel on it, and it looks like a very, very good iPhone, which is something that's really cool. I also do like the fact that this particular iPhone is still cameras and everything. The dual camera setup still looks great. The glass back, the reflective sides. This iPhone looks and feels very, very good, and that is something that I actually like a lot about this type of device. So if I'm going through and buying a certain iPhone, I like the fact that this iPhone holds up in that particular perspective because it is actually a really nice thing going on for this device. So from that side, in so many different ways, the iPhone, I would say the iPhone X holds up very well from the exterior side. The only area where the iPhone X does not hold up that well anymore, I would say, is probably in terms of the software. This iPhone is pretty much done getting software support, and that is, I would say, kind of the issue by getting this particular iPhone, is the fact that you're going to be getting a device that really isn't going to hold up that well from the software side. And that is kind of the issue. Like if you're going to go through and buy a certain iPhone, you probably want it to hold up well from the software side. And that is kind of the issue that you're getting here. This iPhone is not holding up that well. It is on iOS 16, which in some ways is good, but it's also bad in some ways too, because you're not going to be getting that next generation of software where in some cases I feel like it could have gotten those versions, but again, what are you going to do? There's not much you can really do about it. But in those particular sides, I do look at a phone like the iPhone X, and I do think it still holds up very well, even on iOS 16, which is kind of funny. Beyond that though, another big thing going on for this particular iPhone is, pretty much when it comes down to the whole entire performance side, you are getting that Apple A11 Bionic chip inside of it with 3 gigabytes of RAM. It's definitely not the most amount of RAM of all time, and it definitely is kind of a little bit outdated when it comes down to it as well. So that right there is another big thing, and I do feel like if you're getting this type of iPhone, from the performance side, it's not really that terrible. So I do think this, again, in and of itself, is another very interesting thing going on for this particular device. The fact that it's not like the worst of the worst thing, and I think it holds up kind of well from that particular side too. So I think that's like another big thing to kind of keep in mind there as well. Beyond that though, I think this phone probably isn't worth buying anymore, and there definitely is a lot more of a reason to go ahead and purchase like maybe a different type of device rather than this thing. So take that as you will, but that's kind of how I see this phone, the iPhone X, holding up in 2024 in the middle part at least. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.